Treach, happy to have you on the platform, my man.
Respect. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's an honor to have you on the platform, man. I've been trying to get you on the platform for a good minute now, man.
Yeah. You know, it's all about negotiations and finding the right people that know me.
Yes, indeed, man. Finally made it happen, man. And it's funny we doing this interview too, because a few days ago I was checking out a video of you and Queen Latifah performing, and I think she was performing on Unity, and you was like hyping her up. So
Yeah, that was on the Force Tour.
yeah, that was a dope clip, man. But I guess we could start there. How did that come about? You and Queen Latifah meeting, and you becoming, a part of Flavor Unit.
Man, it was crazy because before I even was uh the group was Naughty by Nature. Before that, it was New Style. And even before the group New Style, I was a solo artist in East Orange, Illtown, New Jersey. And I started writing at 12 and started getting on the scene like 14, 15, doing every single local talent show. So I met Latifah through the talent show circuit, like the Raleigh Racket Club that was down the hill, East Orange, right next to the fire department, middle Orange Street, off of Main Street. So I met her through the whole talent show circuit.
How did it get to a point that you became a roadie for her? You was a roadie for her, right?
Yeah. See, the thing was, like I said, I was a solo artist. I had many different crews that I had rolled with beforehand. Then Naughty by Nature's first name with all three members was New Style. So we was on the talent show circuit then. We was winning every spot we went to and everything else. And we was like, cool, we accomplished that. We got to find some real deal management. So we was doing the thing. Wasn't no internet or anything like that. You had to go by like records and who they give credit to, managers and all the rest of that and anything else. And then it clicked. It was like, yo, Flavor Unit is Jersey. Because, Jersey had a hard time. It's like if you wasn't from New York back then, New York they ain't want to hear nothing outside they state because that was the Mecca. So we was like, yo, before we even go and try to do something somewhere else, man, we need to a Flavor Unit. So I'm like, man, I know Latifah. And they was like, you know Latifah? I'm like, yeah, every time we did talent shows and all that, I remember her from there. Yo, I think we could set up a meeting or something like that. So we all put our heads together and was like, you know what? Instead of having a regular meeting, we've been winning all these talent shows. Let's set up a showcase for us. Have a crowd there and have them like basically audition for management. So once it came through, Apache came through, Lakim Shabazz, Latifah, Lord Ali Baski, Double J, rest in peace. Like a gang of the Flavor Unit came through, Shakim and Latifah, of course. And when we performed, what the word was that got back to us, Apache was like, yo, I swear, these guys so dope. If y'all don't sign them, I'm out of Flavor Unit. This Jersey, this what we was talking about, what we need, blah, blah, blah. And everybody else was looking like, you ain't got to tell us that. We want them down with Flavor Unit. So that was to us, that was like a record deal to us. We were so happy because we was on like Bon Ami Records, which was a subsidiary of Sugar Hill Records, and we signed that contract without even getting a lawyer. So they own New Style, the name and all that, and we was looking to get another name anyway. So we were scared to even tell somebody shopping a deal we had another deal because we knew with them is a lifelong deal. Long story short, Flavor was like, man, we get with a new label, they'll pay them off. And the rest was history. They got us, we end up was on Tommy Boy Records, but we originally signed with Warner Brothers. That's Bugs Bunny money, Benny Medina. So we signed to Warner Brothers, but they didn't know what to do with hip hop. It was like, well, but Latifah was on Tommy Boy and Digital Underground and so many others like underground groups. They was really breaking. And it was like, yo, we got to set up this meeting with Tommy Boy. So from the management, it went straight up into a label deal, and the rest was like hip hop history.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard that Pac, he was a roadie for Latifah too, right? Or no?
Yeah, that's what. No. Pac was a roadie for Digital Underground. And we went on I think it was 1990. It was like a Public Enemy, Heavy D, Queen Latifah Digital Underground tour. So that's where I actually met Tupac. So if don't nobody know what a roadie is you on the road doing whatever you need to do, carrying bags, taking this here, doing that, boom, 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 off the tour bus to the rooms, all that, boom. And Pac had a song with Digital Underground, same song. So they had a video announced. So people had knew Tupac already, and he was performing, and I was just doing freestyle and backing up Latifah on the road with me. But after all that was done, we was carrying bags, taking them from the room to the bus, from the bus to the room. And then we linked up because it was like, if any one of us finished first, the other one got with I got with Pac or he got with me. You got more bags? Let me help you. And then every time we hit any town we was at, we went to the local fucking weed dealer. And we was like, so we was roadies with each other. We was mobbing through every city, every town. To this day, we still got connects like homies in different towns, state to state, that we had known from being roadies on the road. And when I actually came back off the road with Latifah, I was like, yo, it's actually a world outside the hood. Man, I'm going full body with this hip hop shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's how y'all got so close or whatever, being on tour.
Yeah. Yep. First being signed to Flavor Unit Management, Shakim and Latifah signed us, and it was a rap after that.
How did it get to a point where both of y'all got into Juice then? Because y'all both was in that movie.
No, actually, Latifah through Flavor Unit, she already was in the movie, and she came to me even before the movie came and was like, look, Treach, you got to realize careers in hip hop may not last forever, so you always want to put your foot in something else. You know what I mean? I was doing modeling for Tommy Hilfiger, and she was like, you need to get in the movies too. I'm like, I don't know nothing about acting. She's like, well, it ain't nothing to do, nothing but to learn. You can learn. So when I actually I read for the role of Bishop, because she got me, the reading to go, and I ain't know shit about acting at all. But I actually went there the same day Pac was going there, and we already knew each other and all that. So I did my thing. I came out, I see Pac. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, man, I'm here reading for this movie Juice. I said, me too. I'm like, what role? He's like, Bishop. I'm like, I'm reading for Bishop. So we was joking like, man, we reading for the same role. He went up in there after I came out. I read it like Riverside. Boom. I ain't have no acting experience at all. Pac, he went to the School of the Arts, all that. He had that. He went in there. It sounded like chairs was being thrown, and boom, I'm like getting up out my seat. I'm thinking he fighting in there. So I'm rolling up in there like, yo, yo, yo. He walk out the door. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up? You good? He's like, no, I just read for the role. I said, nigga, you got that. you convinced me. And he ended up getting that role. So with that being said, to show what type of dude Pac was, he was like, damn, you ain't even got a role in the movie. You know what? Come stay with me. I got a hotel in New York. It was me, him, Ed Lover, his brother Mo Preem, Yaki Gaddafi, rest in peace. And we all was like in the hotel and every day on set. So when we go to set, it was like, I got what you call an extra role. So extra is like you just in the movie background. So that's why I was the only dark-skinned nigga in the Puerto Rican gang. It's like, how was you with no lines, but I was a part of Rodamez gang? I'm like, man, it was Uptown Harlem. Fuck it, I was Dominican. I was from the Heights. Riverside.
Speaking of Juice, right, and I'm sure you heard this before, how you feel about the people that push the narrative that, after Pac played Bishop, he changed?
Bishop didn't turn Pac into being Bishop. Pac was a real nigga. He was a baby Black Panther. He actually was in jail before he even was born. Mama Feeney was locked up while she was pregnant. And he came up on a culture of Black Panther awareness, knowing things from a whole different level. Your mama is on crack and, you shifting from house to house, and you end up being the one to take care of the family as a kid coming up through hip hop and stuff. So, and me and Pop, I mean, it's stories, even with All Eyes on Me. If you see, it's really not a role with me in there, because I really think, when after he was gone, rest in peace, Mama Feeney wanted to really not show too much extra thug that was going on. They showed a lot, but me and Pac was wild. Like, and we came from two different. Me, Illtown, East Orange, New Jersey. He was from the Bay. Went to Baltimore. He went to New York, Cali. Like, he was all over the country. I was just out of Jersey, but we was like kindred spirits. So when we got together, we was mobbing.
I'm happy you brought that up about you and Pac walling out, man. You got to tell me this story. You never told it before. I had Napoleon and Faith on Love on my platform, and they told the story. I even seen Dave Chappelle tell the story before. He was there. But you and Pac, y'all getting into a fight at the Comedy Store in L.A. Tell me about that.
Yeah, in LA, yo. It was crazy. It was in California at the Comedy Store for Sunset, right next to the Sunset Hyatt. It was a comedy store. That was the biggest comedy spot out there. And what happened, we had end up going to this spot, the comedy spot, listening to comedy, having fun, doing all this. It was like me, him, gang of other like people we was with. And what happened, we came at, whether it was like every Wednesday or every Thursday, we came on the week after. The Thursday beforehand, like some of the biggest Crips in LA, the Rolling 60s, they had got into an altercation with some Bloods. And from what the story was, the Bloods got the best of them. I think they was like outnumbered or whatever. So, with the gang culture and mentality, they was like, we going back there next week to get some get back. So who had did that to them wasn't in there, but we was in there. So when the Rolling 60s came in, they came in deep. And what they did, they came in first and they just started picking up chairs and bottles and all the rest of that. We heard a commotion in the back, and like it wasn't really too much of nothing, because it could be fights anywhere, whatever. Before we got a chance to look back, like, pow, I got hit in the head with a chair. And bottles was like thrown on stage, because whoever was on stage bounced. They was out. It was a full. So when I turned around, that's when I walked around with the big chain and lock around for all homies locked down. So I took that shit off immediately. Pop and everybody that was with us picked up bottles and chairs, and it just was like an all-out brawl. You know what I mean? So we end up fighting our way. We got up out of there. You know what I mean? We did what we had to do, but it was so real. We had got green lit out there by the 60s. So that's a green light is like on site. Niggas is going to roll on you and handle business. It's like a hit. So I had to get up with my family that was out there. And that was Brother William Muhammad from number 54 Mosque in Compton. That was like my homie, but he had this security and all the rest of that there. So Pac was out of town at the time. I was coming back. He was like, yo, hearing this shit out here in these streets, we need to meet up. So where you want to do it? Like, you want to go somewhere? I'm like, man, where we? He's like, we need to meet up with him to dead this, because I know homies over there and anything else. So we met up in Compton and sat down, and was basically let it be known, like, we ain't disrespect the gang. We just was doing what we had to do to get up out there. So they took the green light off and everything else. And the rest is history. We still here. We ain't have to go through that.
Crazy, man. Yeah, that's wild, man. And you and Pac, y'all had another fight in San Francisco, right? Smooth B told me about that one.
Smooth. Listen, let me tell you something. In the day, and especially to all the new artists that's out, and even the ones that came after us 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we had to literally fight through cities just from being out of town. Like, it wasn't just, gangs in LA and anything else. You go to Little Rock, Arkansas, you go, yo, and these girls is all backstage and all the rest of it. Yo, trying to come back to the hotel, nigga. That ain't a good look. You feel me? So we literally had to fight out of situations. You know, back then we was raw, we was young and dumb. We had straps, we had homies we known everywhere. So at any given time, it could be on because you get tested. They like, oh, these niggas hardcore rappers, all that. They ain't real like that. They ain't bout it. They ain't let it. So they test you. And our whole thing, we wasn't trying to be harder than nobody. Rakim said it best. It ain't where you from, it's where you at. You ain't gonna take no whole town down out of niggas that ain't fucking with you or want a piece. You doing what you gotta do to get up out of there and get back home and not send home in a box. So we banged out, you know what I mean, when we had to. But it's a better situation now because a lot of artists learn how to roll and don't think like you the shit from where you from. You in somebody else's town and you could be fooled if you be rude. Feel me?
That's real talk. And me looking at you, you more of a bigger guy. Pac, he was a small dude, right?
No, I'm small. Me and Pac was the same. We was like 160 pounds, 5'10", 5'11". I'm 5'10", 5'11". I'm 170 pounds. I'm just cut the fuck up. I ain't playing. You know what I mean? I got work with them things and shit. Up them paws is still right. But nah, I'm not no big dude. I'm not no big dude. I just know how to handle mine.
Right, right. So Pac, he could get busy, yo, even though he was a small dude.
Yeah. We squabble. We squabble. If somebody's coming with us with something, we pull out too. You know what I mean? But we from the school like, yo, let's get this fade. Let's get this fair one. And then anybody jump in, and my homies jumping in. Like we come from the era where we rather fight, get it on. But nowadays it's like, I just say all the new rappers coming out, it ain't nothing punk about getting your security, getting your people right, and all that and roll correct, because nowadays ain't nobody fighting.
Have somebody ever asked you about them situations? I'm happy I asked you about that, man.
Yeah. Those was it's like this before it was Instagram, social media, internet. These were stories the streets. You know what I mean? They know.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. But I want to get your point of view on this, right? I was checking out an interview from Salt-N-Pepa, and she was telling a story about how Tupac, he was in a What a Man video, but her label, they removed him from the video. From your point of view, what was the deal with that, man? Like, what happened?
Well, basically at the time, I was dating Pepper from Salt-N-Pepa. Pac was hot. You know what I mean? He was out with his own music. I was out with my own music. And we filmed the video, so we all got up in there. And what happened, he had caught that case, that felonious case of rape in New York. So what it was a label decision. You seen his tattoos, all that, boom, but they had a vision of him where it was, you ain't see his face. It was basically the homie was canceled before cancellation of artist was out. So it was like, we can't have somebody that's charged with rape and squeaky clean group like Salt-N-Pepa. So the label and the edits to the video, they did that.
Did Pac feel a type of way about that?
No, I see. Basically, we knew it was a label situations that the ladies didn't have nothing to do with. And if they did or said they didn't want them in there because it was like it could fuck up their career, but it always, from what I was took it as like the label did it the way they do it. Before the final version came out, they cut him out. Without, soon as you accuse of something, then, people put you in that scenario. And then after the fact, and everybody to say how shit went down and like Pac never did nothing to her or whatever, he still did time for it. So he was convicted of that. So he had to work past that because a lot of people wasn't fucking with him after that.
Yeah, they did him dirty with that situation, man. They never found him guilty of rape, though. They only found him guilty of sexual assault for touching a girl's ass, right?
He was smashing her many different times. She was in a hotel when we had to leave because anytime Tupac had when he was filming Juice, and anytime he's in town, he had the homies with him. And I'm from Jersey, so I just come over. I got a home back, but I come over there and make sure he's straight and everything else. Got what he need. But when the girls come over and we leave and he handle his business. But we all seen her up in there multiple times way before that situation and know come the next day early in the morning and she getting dressed and leaving. So he was smashing her. So I don't know how I go from smash to take ass, but it did.
Wow. So you seen her around Pac plenty of times before she accused him of rape.
Anybody that was with Pac know the many, he wasn't married or he was doing his thing like all of us. We was brand new, all this pussy just coming to us. We was handling and taking the shit down. But it was so much pussy, ain't nobody had to take no ass. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, everybody I spoke to was saying the same thing that Pac, he had a lot of females, so it didn't make sense for him to do that. So, but speaking of Pepper, you and Will, y'all good? Cause I know you went off on him, man, and it went viral. Everything good between both of y'all?
Yeah, well good. I had a funny thing because, he had my ex on there talking about how it seemed like around the time we were dating, like they might have been messing around, whatever. So I just put out there, keep my ex bitch name out your fucking mouth.
Right,
If he
right.
could tell Chris Rock that, I could tell this nigga that. You was fucking that broad while I was fucking with a nigga. Yo, fuck out of here. But nigga, that was the past, and I ain't mad because I was fucking other bitches when I was dating her too. So it ain't like he ain't caused no lie. It's just a point. She wanted to press for that shit. That press horse shit out of here. Breaking news. Real nigga alert. Fuck out of here. That's funny to me.
And if I'm not mistaken, I do remember her saying that, Will, he tried to talk to her back then, but she curved him. And, she ended up with you. So,
Ah, yeah. She was doing her motherfucking thizzle. She was down with O.P.P, nigga. Facts. That's why I fucking bounce.
yeah, he said that they went on a date and, he wanted to spit game to her, but, he was scared that he was going to get killed.
Yeah, they said like killed the shot. I ain't lose my career for nobody. I'm not hell to the nizzo. That hoe could gizzo. Yeah, I ain't doing none of that for none of them. They ain't with me, they without me. Bye, Felicia.
How you feel about how they portrayed you in that Salt-N-Pepa movie on Lifetime?
Yeah. All that shit was flagrantly fictional. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody know her and know me. What she wanted out of that was a Ike Turner, Tina Turner story, a big everybody on, and a lot of people ain't fuck with me after that too, like the cancellation type shit or the black ball and all that, by thinking I was some type savage nigga. I don't beat nothing. The only thing I beat was when I was too young to get pussy, and that was my dick. I ain't beat no women or nothing. I beat niggas now that come in disrespect in the day. Like I'm grown, I'm 53 fucking years old. And I done been through a whole good life and everything else, yo. Before I ever would go and do some shit like that to a female, I'm out. I'm bouncing. I had too many bitches on my dick. But like those type of stories, instead of it wouldn't have took that long for it to get out. You feel what I'm saying? MTV News, all of the stuff that was coming, hip hop, all the magazines, Vibe, Rap Master, Source, it would have been in there. Boom. It would have been police at the house, the mansion, all that, and seeing everything that's going on and all that. And if all that shit was going on, never, no way out of here. Never.
Right, right. Yeah, nobody ain't believe that bullshit, man. But
Exactly.
gotta ask you, one of the most iconic hip hop songs. I mean, it's no way you can do an interview and not ask you about it. O.P.P, man. How did that song come about?
Man, it's crazy, yo. It was um first the track was after the fact. We had a slogan around the hood where one of the homies, OGs, Moo Brown, he used to go around, had a deep voice. He was a hustler. He was like, yeah. I'm down with OPM, other people's money. I'm down with OPM. I'm getting that money and everything else. And then we was like, well, yeah, you throwing it out here big. I'm down with O.P.P. He's like, what's that O.P.P? Other people pussy. So it was a joke. We all laugh and all that. So I had went home. I'm like, O.P.P, O.P.P. Every time we see a girl we roll with got a man or some shit, we be like, she down with O.P.P. Boy, that's that O.P.P. That's that O.P.P. So I start writing a concept around other people penis, other people pussy, other people property. And then K had came one day. He had this track with this Jackson 5 ABC sample, ba, 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 with the substitution beat. Boom, ba, ba, boom, ba. Yo, I heard this shit. I'm like, you know what O.P. And we came from like doing talent shows and everything else. We had call and response type records because we had to perform like how you go say hey, say ho, say ow, say all that. So we took it to a different level. Like let me do a hook. You down with O.P.P? And we had the dudes and the girls. Yeah, you know me. So then when we do a show, it ain't the same. Say hey, say ho, say out. It's gonna be they gonna be responding to the record. The record gonna have this built-in hook. Cause a lot of records that was done like in the 80s, when you get to the hook, it's just a scratch. But then you had like KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, different artists come out, public in it, like it had hooks, not just scratches no more. It was real live hooks on there. So it was like, yeah, this the era. We coming out in the 90s now. We gotta have this. So that was how it came about. Shout out to Moo Brown, O.P.M.
That song right there, man, that's an iconic song, man. And one thing I did want to talk to you about, man, because there's a lot of people. Do you feel like you underrated as a rapper? Because like you hear people like he'll be like you one of his favorite rappers, and I
Yeah.
hear a lot of rappers say,
I mean, I'm never on the top 10 list or anything like that, but to me, I'm do I feel underrated? Of course. When you come into a game like this, you always want to be looked at like one of the best that done it, one of the top that's listed. But it don't get me salty. It just give me more inspiration and get me more hungry. And like I guess I ain't do enough yet. You know what I mean? But anybody know, like I started off as a battle rapper and all the rest of that. So they know I ain't no joke. And they know like a lot of rappers can't make records. You know what I mean? But I'm a battle rapper that can make records, concept songs, boom, that go pop. And when we first came out with O.P.P, there's like, oh, them one hit wonders. Then our next album, I mean, even then we had Ghetto Bastard, we had Uptown Anthem, and then the next album is like the first single is like Sophomore Jinx. They ain't going Hip Hop Array. That was a bigger record than O.P.P. And then on and on and on, we kept on doing our thizzle, Feel Me Flow, It's On. All them records was pop records and million sellers. So we proved to the world we got what it takes. I'm blessed. I can't be mad at nobody. Everybody has their favorites and everything else. One thing with Naughty by Nature that I regret is that we just didn't put out enough material at the time. We were so hot, like after each album, like the next one would come 2 or 3 years later. And a lot of artists that are on the top 10 list and everything else were consistent with putting out material. And we didn't have like a lot of collaborations. A lot of artists that did. I think a lot of people didn't want to collaborate with me because I would have smoked their ass on them tracks. I probably wouldn't want to do a song with me neither. I was smoking
yeah, yeah, you
niggas.
definitely would have smoked a lot of them.
Actual factual.
Real talk, man. But I want to ask you about Biggie. You knew Biggie?
Yeah, I met Biggie through Pop. And Big became my man. You feel what I'm saying? I always say, I done said it before, like one of my biggest regrets is that I never got a chance to sit Biggie and Pac down during the turmoil and the beef. When I met Biggie and everything I seen with Biggie and all that, Biggie was a great dude. And I seen his character and I was, in my mind, I'm like, man, I really don't think Big would do something like that. But Pac was so real with what he's saying. He know how I was coming from what I was doing and putting in. He was like, if you so much of a boss, how you don't know who shot me in your studio session I was going to? But if anybody know, they know how Brooklyn get down. It's like, and in the studios back then, it'd be 20, 30, 40 motherfuckers in a session, and you don't know all of them. You know what I mean? And it was just people was there, and certain times you could get caught up by the wrong people being up in there, and shit happen. You know what I mean? They see somebody coming up in there. Pac was always jeweled up and everything else. Motherfuckers just looking for somebody that's slipping, or they feel like they could ambush, which they did. Pac was strapped, you know what I mean? But he ain't had time to pull it. And he was basically going up in there like la 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 la, when he's supposed to really been going up in there looking like some shit could pop off anywhere. But it learned him. Thank God he didn't get killed then, but he got shot up 5 times. You feel me? And robbed.
Did you speak to Pac after he got shot?
Yeah, I was actually in the hospital even when they wouldn't let Biggie in. Yeah, I came straight to the hospital. It's a song Naughty had called "More You Till I Join You," and I went in. When I went in the hospital, you know, the security is there, the nation was there, and they let me in because Mama Afeni, rest the queen, she was in there. She was like, "Please, Treach, talk some sense in his head. He 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 can't leave the hospital. He want to leave." I'm like, "He want to leave? He just got shot. Like, what do you mean leave? He want to leave. Please talk to him. He trying to get up out of here and everything else." I'm like, "All right, ma, I got you." So I walked up in there. I'm like, "Pac, what's good? What you need?" He said, "Get me up out of here." I'm like, "Homie." Spoke to mom, spoke to the doctor. They like, "If you leave here right now, you'll get an infection and you won't make it. I need the medicine, whatever from these doctors right now." I'm like, "Yo, yo, we here, the nation here, everything else." Nigga, I was strapped. All the homies were strapped. I'm like, "Nigga, you good." He was like, "Nah, I don't trust these doctors." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" "Man, I'm a baby panther. I think they might put something up in here. I done did some things. I speak my mind, bro." I said, "Say no more." So I went out and told Ma. She was like, "Sound like him." Went, the doctors gave him all the medication he need, all the extra, the painkillers, the penicillin, whatever medicine they could give him where he could get out of there. He got out of there. I was actually, when everybody is strolling him out, I just was on the outskirts of the cameras in the back because I was strapped. I didn't even want the ones to know, yeah, nigga, we here. But we was with him. We held him down while he was out.
And you said that Biggie, he came up to the hospital?
Yeah, Biggie had came to the hospital, but they wouldn't let him in. Pac ain't want to see him because they, you know, the word was out Biggie had something to do with it. His people, he knew who did it. You know, or it was his people, or it was Brooklyn niggas, and boom. And Pac was like, "Find out who did that so I know, blah, 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 blah." And that's where the whole tension came.
Did you know that Pac went to Josh McGowan house after he left the hospital?
Nah. You know, once he leave and go out of town, he do what he do. You know what I mean? He had a lot of family and friends all over. Like I said, Pac was one before he even came out in the music. He was traveling all over. And when he came out, he had so many friends and family. Jada, boom, and she knew, you know, who their friends was each other friends, you know. So yeah, that sound right.
Yeah, he stayed at Josh McGowan house for a little while after he got shot. But speaking of Jada, is it true that she tried to raise money for Tupac Bill?
Um, I don't know. Like, you know, back then it wasn't social media. It was, you know, if it didn't come through the news or immediate family, um, and Jada wasn't basically on a conversation for, you know, that's like if Pac had any friends or girls or boom, like, that's him. That's him. Like, you know, it ain't, we stay out of that. If we don't hear from his mouth, we don't know exactly, you know, real or not. So I don't know.
Right. So Pac, he gets shot and robbed at Kauai. He ends up going to prison for the sexual assault. Was you in contact with Pac when he went to prison?
I was in contact with people that was in contact with him and people that we knew in Rikers Island.
Did you know he was going to sign a death row before it was announced to everybody? Or
No, I knew it after the fact. Cause I was on the road, you know what I mean? And like I said, it was a time from where my hood is, I couldn't even go to a lot of prisons or whatever else because I was on gang file and everything else. So it was like my name was like a lot of prisons that I would go and visit my homies in Jersey, especially. If I visit them, they'll go on lockdown right after I leave. Like I was still in the streets. But no, it's just where my hood is, and I'm from this hood and I am what this hood is, but I'm not in the industry and still active. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey, did you know Stretch?
Yeah, rest in peace, Stretch. Queens. Shout out Southside Jamaica. Whoa.
Him and Pac, that situation, I don't really want to dig deep into that because they had a thing.
I don't know none, I don't even know nothing about that. Like, I like I said, I met Stretch through Pac. Anybody I met through Pac immediately was my family and my brother, you know. And whatever went on with them, I never even heard Pac, as far as to me, tell me anything. Pac knew so many people and everything else. If I didn't see somebody around, it's just they was busy at the time. I didn't know that they had any friction or anything until way after. Like probably when the regular media and they, you know, was through, like I said, the big magazines at the times and everything else. I knew nothing about it. I knew every time I seen Stretch, we all was mobbing. And he was somebody else with us, like in the movie Juice, staying at the hotel with Pac and all the rest of us. We was sleeping in the living room. He had a big suite, so we was like laid across the floor, just rolling with Pac.
Right, right. And you was on tour with Diddy and Big, right? During the East Coast, West Coast beef?
Now, even before the tour even went out, I personally reached out. You know what I mean? Pac and Suge. Pac was on the road and I called Death Row office because when I go to LA, I roll up in the office, hang with Suge and the homies and all that. So I actually called him beforehand. I'm like, yo, um, we got this bad boy. They trying, man, get that money. Suge was like, blood, get that money, this, that, and the third, boom, 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 all of that. Man, we out here, we gonna get our money. We better labeled than bad boy. You know, Suge always popping, you know, he gonna brag on it and anything else. And then we got on the road, I actually called Suge back. I'm like, Suge, we all like Bad Boy Big, all this little Kim, we hanging out. I'm like, yo, why y'all niggas don't go to the after parties and anything else? Every town, it's going, man, you know, this shit going back with Death Row and all the rest of that. I'm like, what? I'm like, niggas is not, I said, hold on. Call in a room with Big. Like, hold on. Calling Death Row. Hello. Yeah, can I speak Death Row Records? Can I speak to Pac? Pac ain't here on the road. Suge there? Nah. Who this? Treach. Oh, hold on. That's the type of relationship. She'll get on the phone. I'm like, yo, we out here, bad boy and anything else, man. These motherfuckers put on like big hitters. Yeah, they don't need to go to after party saying, man, tell them bitch ass niggas go to the club. We ain't nobody. What do you think we after niggas? Yo, we gonna sell more records than them niggas. Everything. We the better label. Tell them niggas ain't nobody looking for them niggas. Yo, y'all on tour with them. We ain't fucking y'all money up and everything and blah 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 blah. Long story short, Lil C's, all the Junior Mafia, look, man, they used to come out with the glitter suits on and the ties. Yo, them niggas was so they just was hanging with us and everything else. Them niggas start coming on stage with just the tie, Junior Mafia, no shirts on the naughty boxes. The naughty by nature boxes, because we was hanging out every night. He heard it, they heard it from Suge's mouth. There ain't nobody out there gonna come or do nothing to know we gonna outsell them and do this shit, and we a better label and bow. Facts. Ask Lil Season.
So at first they was a little hesitant to come out to LA and do shows and shit until Suge.
No, to come out anywhere on the road, a lot of spots on the it was like, no, the tension was out there. Like I said, it wasn't no internet, or nothing. One thing I always say is when the cover of the Vibe magazine came out and Puff and Big was on it, and it said East versus West. I said, what the fuckery bullshit is this? They gonna get niggas killed. Because most of the thugs and gangsters before, Vibe, Source, all that, those was the magazines to pick up and get. Rap Master, Word Up. So when you see that on the front of the cover and you seen them at all like the newspaper stands and all that, you just see Puff and Big on the cover with East versus West. Niggas don't read articles. They like, oh, shit, it's on. East Coast niggas like, oh, let them West Coast niggas come out here. West Coast niggas, let them East Coast. That turned the temperature up 30,000 degrees. That put a hit on all of us. That was realer than real. Realer than real. But it all came, that was like the initiation of, you hear now, homie, when you go out of state, check in. It's like check in with the real niggas that's there and let them know you there and have somebody that's from there that got you covered and know how to roll out there and roll correct. Don't just be going out there being fooled.
Yeah, man. I wish Pac and Big would have squashed their beef, man, before they got killed, man.
They would have still been here, man. Probably get money together.
Yo, I don't know if you know this, but I know when I did my interview with Mo Preem, he confirmed it, but I just want to know if you have any knowledge of it. Is it true at one point Pac was considering signing with Bad Boy?
Oh, I have no idea. That I never even heard of that. What was about to pop off was Death Row East. And Pac was going to be the president of that label.
Right. He spoke to you about that? Death Row East?
Yeah. That was happening. That was about to happen.
What was he telling you about that, yo?
Yo, I got my label. Pac always wanted to come out. He was so ahead of his time, especially business-wise. Always recording, always extra hundreds of songs. And he was like, I'm acting. He wasn't just going to be an actor. He was going to produce, direct movies, put his own shit out. He wasn't just going to be a rapper. He was going to have his own artists like Outlaws and his own labels and put his shit out. And then basically, like in the movie, they had it like Suge had Pac under his arm, like, you doing this or you ain't. Nah, Suge loved Pac. You feel what I'm saying? He was like, look at all this money from even the millions I bailed you out with and stuff. All these cars, all these houses, all the shit that I think this shit and doing your own label. This debt. Run Death Row East. That's your label. You run that. I'm running West Coast. You run the East. Pac was like, ooh, I got my shit in that. If anything, Bad Boy artists would have been coming to Death Row East. I would have signed to Death Row East.
Oh, for real? You would have signed it?
Hell yeah. Quick. I ain't never do a solo album. It would have definitely been on that. If my nigga was running the label, for sure.
Hey, yo, I heard that they was talking to a whole lot of people like Big Daddy Kane, DMC, for Run DMC.
Sound right. Death Row East, you gotta have not only new artists, but legendary artists that's about done what they did.
When people say that Tupac was gonna lead Death Row, that's bullshit then.
Nah, he didn't. It was he was gonna have his own label on Death Row. So, and everybody seen he started promoting Death Row East.
Yeah, I mean, if Death Row East would have happened, man, that would have been epic. But you made a comment before, right? And I want you to go more into detail about it. You said that after Tupac got shot, you messed up a lot of deals. What you meant by that?
No, it wasn't even because he got shot at Quad. It was so fucked up to the point of anybody that was rolling with Pac at that time, because it looked like, like Death Row was bullying the industry. So Bad Boy had a sympathy card, actually. Especially after the Source Awards and all that, anybody dancing in the videos and coming to Death Row. It was like, if you rolling with Suge and them in Death Row, y'all troublemakers. And we don't want no parts of that, because if you fucking with Death Row like that, Suge could roll up in my office at any time and then he could do some bully shit. You know, this, that, and the third. And Pac ain't nothing up for me. Like, it's just, it was like sides and sides, and nigga, who you fucking with, who you ain't fucking with. Um, what I did say at the time, I was like, I fucked up a lot of deals myself, because after Pac and Big got killed, like, imagine, I'm like, nigga, I'm probably on that list to be a nigga to come next. You know, so I had a bulletproof vest on every day, 2 heaters on my waist, and I would go into meetings. You know, these execs come and hug you. Hey, Church, what's up, bro? Feel the vest on, like, oh, oh, we got to keep our distance from this nigga. He's active. Nigga, I don't even want to walk this thing downstairs. Somebody might be waiting for him, and Pac and Big just got killed. You feel me? So it was just me. I was totally 1,000% in the industry, but thinking tomorrow might not be there. And I remember in those days, it was like my mom's used to be like, baby, be careful out there. I'm like, Mom, if something happened to me, just pray I kill a nigga that killed me. We both die fucking together. Cause I'm ready for these niggas. Like, it was that type of just fucking discomfort of just doing what you had to do. And I came to a level where I didn't trust too much of nobody, especially these industry motherfuckers. And I had to get myself away from them, because I'm like, I might hurt one of these motherfuckers playing around. Because when you in the industry, you got to realize you got to leave the street shit alone, because the street and the business don't mix. Either or. Don't bring that street shit into the business. You'll fuck your whole shit up. So I had to learn. I mean, I learned it, but I wasn't going to be a statistic like another hip hop nigga fucks up or do some shit and locked up forever for doing, nigga. This the music business. Get your fucking accountants and your lawyers right together and do it the way you're supposed to do on the bit. You're not in the music personal, film personal. You're in the music and film business. It's a business, and you could fuck yourself up by doing some nigga shit.
Damn, man. So it got to a point where you was wearing the vest every day after Tupac death.
Every day and strap every fucking day. Going into every meeting, not walking out in every studio. Somebody want me in the studio, I'm in there, nigga, locked and loaded. Nigga, 2 of the biggest hip hop artists of all time died of murder. That shit was crushing. That crushed my whole spirit. Hate that shit.
Terrible, man. I know that had to be hard for you, man, since you was close to both of them. But I want to ask you, man, how did you feel about the Vegas situation? Because I know that you made a comment about Tupac, and you said that Tupac already knew that when you out of state and you have a fight, he knew to wear a vest to have a gun on him.
Yeah, that, like, it didn't make no sense to me. Not even have, or arm on you. Pac had legal eagles, what we call them, like bonded security. You know what I mean? And I know he had his vest on him because we was wearing vests all the time, like after he got shot in New York. So I know he had a vest, but it's ways you know the role. You never the one that's driving in no front seat. You always in the back, 2 on the side of you flank. Usually you want to be in a bulletproof vehicle, but if it ain't at that time, you want to have it where it's all tinted. Nobody know you leaving from a garage. They don't know what car you in. You in a brigade of cars, and they don't know when you in and out. Even when you coming in a club, you want to go in the front. You got the legal eagles outside, inside, rolling with you. Ain't nobody gonna roll up on the side and all the rest of that and just be able to roll up on your car, because they don't even know what car you in.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. I mean, that's a brilliant way to look at it, man. Yeah, they was slipping that day, man. They was slipping.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Especially after you had an altercation and it was with gang members or just anybody. You don't have to know them. somebody gonna take that shit some type way, and you still in that city hanging out without being totally ready.
You knowing Pac, right? And you and Pac, y'all been in a lot of fights before. Do you think he did what he did out of loyalty, or it was something else?
Yeah, I mean, we was, man, we was in our 20s. We were real about our people, loved our people. Like I said, we was squad, definitely. If we found out or it was some disrespect, it was never even a question of throwing them fucking bows, like ever. But he had to know once you do, somebody mad. And usually it ain't one somebody, it's a whole whoever he rolled with. And they like, it's the OS after that, on site.
You personally, do you believe the narrative that it was Orlando and them? Because I know you feel like it was deeper than what people portray, right?
I mean, whatever it was, whoever was there that night, they know who rolled up. If they saw him, if they was masked up, of course they wouldn't. If they did, I could only go by what, was floating. Pac ain't here to tell me. Uh, even my relatives, like the outlaws, like certain things when it goes on, we roll by different codes and rules. It's like tight lip, boom, 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 boom. Cause it was an all-out war from LA everywhere else after that anyway. So it ain't nothing even for me to speak on.
Did you go to the hospital? Did you fly out to Vegas after the situation?
Nah, I was actually told, like, come in a couple of days. Everybody's like, Pac got shot before. He'll make it. But it was a circus. This wasn't Pac like when he first came out and was in New York. Pac was a mega superstar. And the hospital was so, you know what I mean? Like, in the situation he was in, there wasn't even a lot of people that could even be around there, but besides the immediate family.
I don't know if you heard the audio, but it's an audio out there that I heard. It was from Hot 97. I think it's like a few days after he passed, and people was calling in. And it's like the rappers was calling in, and you had fans calling in, talking crazy and like that. And you called in defending Pac, like, yo, it was like on Hot 97. I don't know if you heard that audio.
Yeah, I heard it. I called in. So I was hot. You feel what I'm saying? I remember wishing death on whoever wished death on him and said, live by the gun, die by the gun. Them. You know what I mean? You don't feel it until one of your family or your relatives or loved ones, beloveds, go, then you don't want to hear that. It's like if you can't give condolences to the family and the friends and all that, if you got some other sideways shit to say, if you don't keep it to yourself, you're gonna get the wrath for the motherfucking through the math. Feel me? I don't care who die on either side of a war. I don't disrespect or talk down on the dead.
Real talk, well said, man. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that you used to take Pac to 21st Street and buy him jewelry. Is that true?
Nah. I ain't never had. Pac had money before I did. Pac, all the movie he had on it, Bishop. I went with him and he bought his jewelry and he wore it in the movie. Cause it was like after he was hustling, made sense for the character. Those wasn't no fucking a costume jewelry that the movie gave him. Those was Pac jewels. Pac ain't never I never seen nobody buying shit for Pac. Pac had his own loot. He was, like I said, he was doing songs with Digital Underground. He was getting that money from the movie juice. He was taking care of us. Hell yeah, Pac was Nick. Actually, if I was hustling back then, so I had mine. But anybody that didn't have, like when we roll, everybody had. Ain't nobody going hungry. Ain't nobody. If we going shopping, somebody else is getting clothes too. Pac wasn't never shopping by himself. He getting everybody's son. Period.
Right. So I gotta ask you, right? I don't know why nobody never asked you this, man, but I gotta ask you. The picture that's been online for years, man, of you, Pac, and Faith. What's the backstory behind that picture, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. Um. Anything that was going on, for one, Faith is from Newark. She from Jersey.
I ain't even know that.
you know. So I had known Faith just from the industry, being out there, knowing she was from, you know, basically the same area as East Orange, North area. So whenever I seen it, it was just like, yo, Jers, what's up? You feel me? Jers was up in the motherfucker. So I'm like, yeah. Um, when that party was going on, Pac was like, yeah. It's like, damn, I'm trying to do some music with her. Boom, 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 this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right. He was like, yo, introduce me to her. So basically, right in the thing, she's saying, Treach, what's up? Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, yo, what's up? Faith, boom, boom, boom. Pac wanna holler at you and boom about some music, boom. They go off, do their thing, and that was that. And word came like I hooked Pac and Faith up. I never even was in a studio session with them or anything else. The same thing would have happened if anybody else I know in the industry. Anybody could tell you. Like we all roll together and come together. Somebody know, I would be like, nah, I ain't, you go talk to him yourself. Pac, nah, go do. Man, I'm like, yo, we all the same. Boom. So the picture was took. We all was in the party. They met and everything else. If I wasn't there, they would have met. So get that bullshit out of here. You feel me? I ain't never been no home wrecker, no shit to do nothing. Man, the industry was, I don't give a fuck whether it was like MTV Spring Breaks or anything. Every hip hop artist, everybody that knew each other would all mob together. It ain't like, I see nowadays a lot of artists just, they'll walk right by you. Like I'm the shit. Who that? Oh, all right, whatever. Nick, not then in the 90s, niggas mobbed up together. So anytime it was like a beef, like it was battles, it was NWA and Cube and boom. If they met, they squab, but basically it was on records. They'll take that shit on record. Wasn't nobody getting murdered like that. That was like a whole different scenario. Everybody mobbed together. Everybody was on East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, all was on tours together. So it was a family. You know what I mean? So whoever making some shit up.
So Pac, he's the one that asked to meet her, or she asked to meet him. Because I could have swore you said that she asked to meet him, right?
We basically in the same area where they could have said to each other, but I'm rolling with Pac. I know Faith Boom. Whether Pac asked me first or Boom, Pac probably said, oh, they go Faith Boom. And she was like, oh, she introduced. However it went, they wanted to be introduced to each other. Put it like that. Yeah.
And when this happened, right, when they met, did you know personally that Tupac was on death row?
Mm-hmm.
So how you feel about Faith claiming that she had no idea that Tupac was on death row until she got the Can Studios and seen Corrupt?
Maybe not. You got to realize there was no social media. It was no, I don't know. Whether it was at that time of that event, I don't know whether it was public. I can't say 100% sure if it was public knowledge that he was signed to death row. I don't know if it was public knowledge that Def Suge bailed him out. You know what I mean? Because if you're not doing interviews at that time, it's no social media. If it wasn't in the magazines, I don't know. I can't say, for 100% at that time whether it was known all in the streets or not. Like I knew a gang of shit before, hit the press, of course. But at that particular time, that's like 30 years ago. I'm in my 50s. I don't remember exactly that scenario. But if it came out and it was like, everybody could look and see the time that it went public with it and find out when that party was. And those would be the actual factual.
Right. And when Hit 'Em Up dropped and you heard Pac reveal that, he slept with Faith, how did you feel about that?
I basically knew it was on. I knew it was on. It was Hit 'Em Up, and from Big, it was Who Shot You. And they were saying like Big ain't write that at the full Pac and boom, but it was just he had the song before. If he did, it was not a good time to drop that record because it seemed like it was a straight diss to him after he just got shot. So it was on. So once again, I'm like, I'm from hip hop. I'm from the battle era. From the beginning of hip hop time, there's been some of the biggest groups battling each other. So that was just a part of hip hop with me. I'm just like, this shit is on. It's really on now.
When it first came out, how did New York react?
New York was riding with Biggie, LA was riding with Pac, and a lot of states throughout the country were riding with who they liked the best. So it wasn't just, and it wasn't an East Coast, West Coast thing, because you got niggas on the East Coast that like Pac too. You got niggas on the West Coast that like Big too. So it was just, to me, I'm like, these niggas they about to sell a gang of records. I'm like, I'm like, because both of them niggas was dope, and they had the powerhouse labels behind them to do all the promotion and all the rest of that, the videos and all that shit. All the shit was hot that was coming out from Death Row and Bad Boy. Everything was fucking volcanic lava. Everything. So I'm just like, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and they sold a lot of records too, man. But I want to go back to Faith, right? Before we get off of that, and I want to get your opinion on it. She said that, she went to Tupac hotel room to get her money. Cause I mean, she saw in the courts for it, wonder why they call you bitch. And, she said that when she went to his hotel room, he told her in order for her to get her money, she had to give him fellatio. Do you believe that?
Never. I mean, I seen Pac as a businessman and all the rest of that handle his shit. And I wasn't there, but I don't ride with no bullshit from nobody I know, from Faith or Pac, anything, without me being in myself. And I probably wouldn't speak on it either way. But I knew Pac was handling his business. Like he was on a different level of professionalism and far beyond his years, with knowledge on how to do shit the right way and the wrong way. And he was doing shit the right way when it came to business. Everything I seen in front of me, and never, we all homies, we brag on shit. I ain't never heard him brag on no foul shit like that. Never.
So he wouldn't say nothing like that.
I never heard him say no bullshit like that. Like he told anybody on the planet, do this or do that or get that or get this or boom boom. Never.
Right, right. Above the Realm, you was on set with Tupac when he was shooting that, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because I heard that when he was on set, people was talking shit to him about the, rape case.
Yeah. Aha, rapists, da, da. The majority of people out there was loving Pop, but you got your taunters and your haters and your trollers and everything else. So for one, let me tell you, like with Pac, he thought he always was repping his people, all his people. Keep your head up. Brenda's got a baby. All that type of shit. And to hear, like a lot of the ones that was taunting was females, because it was a sexual assault case or whatever else. And he was like, man, I never first ever would think like my own people would come for me when I rep the thugs all over everything. I speak for the women. I always had their back, man. I'm never doing no fucking. I'm really thugging this shit out now. Fuck all that keep your head up shit and everything else, man. These motherfuckers out here playing me the fuck out like I'm some savage, and I'm far from. I'm gonna get on my shit right now. So that's when you was hearing them California Love and Hit 'Em Up and all that. That was the new Pop. Motherfuckers had got him fed the fuck up.
Damn, man. So Pac, he was hurt by that, what they were saying to him.
I was hurt. You feel me? Because I know what type of dude he is, and that shit is worst case scenario. Getting blamed for something you ain't do, doing time for something you ain't do, and then being taunted for some shit you ain't do. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a wild situation, man. When Big died, yo, what was your reaction to that, man, when that shit happened, man?
I cried like a baby, just like with Pop. I'm like, I know these niggas. Like I was looking for the day I'm knowing shit gonna be hot, shit gonna niggas gonna meet, gonna talk. You know what I mean? I always had the hope like they was gonna meet up and clear that fucking air. You know what I mean? And when that happened, I was like, damn. Crying over the situation, feeling the mourning for his family, his loved ones. everybody that was, you know, he was like the leader of the pack. So he had the whole his squad. Big was the man that was kicking in the doors for him. Pac was the man that was kicking in the doors for his piece. And when it came, it was like, yo, this is what hip hop is at. We really gonna die after we got out the streets doing the shit that we was guaranteed a death sentence or a fucking jail sentence. We got an industry to leave that shit alone, and this is what's gonna end up like. We gonna die doing this shit. I was like, fuck all this shit. It ain't make sense to me no more. I lost the hunger for it and everything. I was back in banging mode.
Yeah, I wish they would have squashed everything before it got bad, man. But before we end the interview, I gotta ask you about this. John Singleton, he told the story before. Ed Lover, he spoke on it before. Tell me about the time that Tupac, he turned down having sex with Latifah after he seen her with Naughty by Nature underwear on. Tell me about that.
Yeah. See, the funny thing is, I I used to date Left Eye. You feel me? And our thing was, we was fans of a lot of entertainers out there and everything else, and we was like, you know, before we even blew up or anything, like Juice, Roadies, yo man, that's my girl. You know how you see a car when you little, that's my car, that's my car, that's my car. We was doing that with girls. We was like, yo, homie, I'm gonna be famous, man. I'm gonna be famous when I get out there. That's gonna be my girl. That's gonna be my wife. So we was doing that type. And the thing was, anybody that any of us end up dealing with one way or the other, or if we felt like they was, man, that was off my list. That's homies. That's homie over there. Oh, you with him? You ain't choose me. You know, like that's whatever. So that's what, you know, they had the you even remember the hip hop array video, had the little TLC button on, everything else. So we were friendly talking to each other like, thinking, yo, that's my thing right there. Never back up. I don't even want to know more. So it was all friendly competition on, you know, that type thing. But we was never salty at each other, but we ain't never step on each other's toes.
Did Pac like her before you got with her?
I don't know. We never spoke on a lot of people. It's just when we meet him, and then if he already knew if she had my drawers, naughty drawers.
And I figured that, yo. I think
Oh, he got to you first. That piece of shit. I know he probably said that piece of shit. Oh, he got that?
Yeah, I figured that's what it was, man. Because it's a known fact that Left Eye, she liked the Tupac, but, you know, he didn't like her. And I think that's what it was. You already had her, so he was like, yo, I
Facts.
don't want her no more. So,
Facts.
hey, Treach, man, great interview, my guy.
One love, bro. Peace to all the fans, yo. Follow me at Treach Tribe on IG and Threads, man, and get some info that you might not get on great podcasts like this. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, indeed, man. Salute.
Respect.